Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I believe, Johnny, we are in lesson number 4.
You are correct, sir.
Yes.
Number 4.
And we're going to do doubles. It's kind of like 4 part A, part B, because many of you have suggested as we learn about the ornaments in Indian classical music called Gamakas, if I'm saying that correctly, that there's 2 different great video sources for this. One is with Pratibha Sarathy. I have to practice these in advance. And Anuja, K, both of which we've enjoyed learning from so far. You guys have suggested we should react to both, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to learn from both, and hopefully one adds on to the other and kind of build from there.
Yep. Looking forward to continuing our journey, but before we do, if you like what you hear, please hit like and subscribe, ring that bell so you always know what content we are coming up with.
Yes. All right, so this is Basic Theory of Indian Classical Music, and it's specializing in ornamentation.
Okay.
Isn't this pretty? Well, I was just thinking about the role that an ornament plays. It makes a person look beautiful and at the same time gives a cultural identity to that person.
She's so sweet.
In Indian culture, a lot of importance is given to ornamentation. So much so that Indian classical music also has ornamentation in it. Well, I'm not kidding. To know more, keep watching the 6th episode of the Basic Theory of Indian Classical Music with me, Anuja Kamat.
Her energy is perfect for teaching.
It is.
There's a genuine excitement in her, and she's so sweet.
In Indian classical music, the term Alankar is used to denote ornamentation. But this term Alankar can also refer to something called as paltas. Now what are these paltas? These paltas are combinations of notes in Aroha and Avroha which are taught to the beginner students so that they can understand the distance of swaras from each other. Now examples of paltas are sa re re ga ga ma ma pa or sa re ga ma ma pa. In this episode, we are not referring to paltas as alankars. We are referring to alankars as an ornamentation or a specific treatment given to a set of notes so that the melody sounds beautiful and gets a specific identity. Now, ornamentation is not just specific to Indian classical music, but to Indian music in general. So, the first alankar that we learn about is called a...
So, I realized I set this up as Gamakas, which I thought was a term used for ornamentation. Maybe that's not the case, so I might have labeled that wrong. Just saying that up front. We'll see if that even shows up in this video, but I know it's the featured term in the next one.
Yeah, definitely still learning here.
In music in general. So the first alankar that we learn about is called a meend. Meend is nothing but a glide, a smooth glide from one note to the other in a bent manner or in a curve, in a kind of a curve. So if you take sa pa sa in a straight form, it will be sa pa sa sa pa sa. But in a meend, it will be sa pa sa pa sa.
That's familiar to us.
You see the glide?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, this meend as an alankar has given many ragas its identity. For example, rag Shuddha Kalyan. It has meend from sa to dha and pa to ga. That is the essential identity of rag Shuddha Kalyan.
Okay.
So, sa dha pa ga. Meend can also be found in many Bollywood songs. For example, my favorite song from Rang De Basanti, Tu bin bataye mujhe le chal kahin.
She doesn't even need any music. I could just listen to her just move through.
It's so entertaining, and that
sequence of notes, but it goes beyond just the uniqueness of the notes for our ears. Her actual vocal tone and delivery, I think she's wonderful.
Yeah, and also just a glissando, which I mean that's our term for it. That glide. I mean that is one of the cornerstone vocal exercises because of the control that you need to be able to do that. Because to be able to blend basically unidentifiable pitches. You have to. I mean, the balance that goes into that is really that's why you do that as a lesson. It's like if you can achieve that, then it's like your building blocks are there to be a great singer.
Even if you're not utilizing it as part of the melody within the song. So they use it as the melody, and often rock, jazz, blues, country. Well, jazz and blues might throw it a little bit more, but a lot of the styles don't utilize it or very sparingly. But it's a great warm-up. It's a great technique to have, and they actually use it like baked into the melody itself.
So, in other words, you have to be really technically proficient to be able to perform this music. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Or even Rasik Balma. You see the glide? That is called a mean. The next ornament is called a khatka. What is a khatka? It is a little break or a little jerk that you take. If you take the notes plainly, it will be sa re ga ma. But with a khatka, it will be sa re ga ma.
That's
sa
cool.
Re ga ma. Little breaks or little jerks. Those are khatkas. Khatkas are found in many Indian songs, many Bollywood songs.
I know. I want.
Yeah.
So I think you're going. Yeah, it's like too high up almost, because I don't think they're going up a semitone. But I don't think it's specific, right? She's not aiming for like she said. It's like she's calling it a jerk. It's like a sudden, wobble. That's there. Right.
Yeah. Really
jerks.
Cool.
Those are khatkas. Khatkas are found in many Indian songs, many Bollywood songs. For example, Hame tumse pyar. So, tumse pyar. Khatkas. Or मैं तेनू समझावा कि ना तेरे बिना लगदा जी तू की. See, khatkas. Or झलक दिखला जा. So songs are filled with khatkas. Now that you know what a khatka is,
so
let me introduce you to the concept of zamzama. A zamzama.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's kind of like a grace note. So in Western music, a grace note, you got your main pitch, and then you can kind of start with a pitch below or above. But this is starting with the pitch, and then in the middle of the pitch. Yeah.
So mean and katka, mean glissando, and katka being the jerk movement. All right.
You know what a khatka is? Let me introduce you to the concept of zamzama. A zamzama is nothing but a cluster of khatkas taken together. Okay. So the pattern is like. This is found a lot in Maharashtrian and Punjabi folk songs. This zamzama is also a characteristic of what is called as tappa gaiki, or the semi-classical form of singing in Punjab. Okay. So a small example of tappa gaiki would be bala. So you see the cluster of
one more time.
So you see the cluster of khatkas? It is called a zamzama. Next is what is.
The only thing they can wait is to cheat this. Like, how do I make it work?
I know.
It's so quick and clean. I mean, obviously, it's just years of when you grow up with these sounds and you mimic it, I'm sure it doesn't seem as complicated, but to perfect it, it's just, years and years.
Yeah.
Called as murki. Murki is nothing but a set of notes taken quickly together. So an example will be Na is a murki. Or Tujhe sang bair. So sang again is a murki. So Bollywood songs might have a lot of murkis in them. But when it comes to Indian classical music, the musician is asked not to take a lot of murkis because it can mess with the seriousness of the rag.
Sure.
The next ornament is called Andolan, which is the slow oscillation of notes. It is used to give this serious tinge to the rag or to a melody in general. So for example, or Bollywood example will be पूछो ना कैसे मैंने रैन बिताए. This kind of serious mood.
It gives you that, like,
it does something to me.
I'm
I'm
I don't know the
transfixed.
words.
I'm captivated. I'm so captivated.
The
the
mood
only thing I've
shift.
said this so many times.
Yeah.
It's a vibrational shift that it creates. It's some sort of transmission of something.
Yes.
It's so
She just these little examples out of context from watching a Bollywood film or even knowing the language whatsoever. There's an immediate kind of like, whoa, there's a physical thing that takes place in response to breaking the rules that we were given when we learned music growing up.
It's blurring
So
the
fascinating.
fact that it's taking the parameters out. There are still those parameters, like even when she goes outside of pitch, and she, that's, and those smeary parts, the glissando parts, which you're not locking into specific pitches, at least Western tones. It's still in the context of, like, when she lands on something, it's still a note. Again, that's
100%.
one of the amazing things to me, is that she can be outside and go to this, like, unknown area, this ambiguous tonal area or pitch area, and then land right on the note that she's supposed to. And but it's those blurred lines. That's what kind of takes me out of the confines of reality.
But if it was only blurred, if it was all glissandos and means, if that's all it was, without having those anchor points, you'd be lost, right? So the fact that she's so perfect in where she takes off from and where she lands, those contact points are so clean and so precise, is what allows all that floaty feeling to exist, whether it's a serious tone or a light, joyous sound.
Yeah, I'm floating right now. It's literally I'm floating.
So cool. All right, let me back it up just a second.
I love it.
This kind of serious mood wherein you meditate on the notes. So that effect is given by Andolan.
Meditate on the notes. Right
Last
there.
but not the least, we have the ornament called as Gamak, which is very, very, very important for Indian classical music. Now, what is a Gamak? Gamak is nothing but the shadowing of notes or giving weightage to the notes to form an effect.
Okay.
So, if you take it plainly, the sargam will be but with Gamak, it will be So you see, like a three-dimensional effect is created where the notes stand out. It's all because of this Gamak. Now, an example of how the Gamak makes the rag stand out will be, take a bandish from any rag. I'll take a rag Bihag. If you sing it plainly, it will be Bajat Muri Payal Jhanan Jhanan. But with Gamak, Bajat Muri Payal Jhanan Jhanan. A kind of shadowing which gives that effect. Now, Carnatic music gives a lot of importance to what is called a Kampita Gamak, or a shaky weightage given to the notes with a shake. For example, Ramani no nam nina. So, that was a kind of a shake but with weightage, and it was pronounced. So, it's called as Kampita Gamakam. It is also interesting to note how gamaks are.
Would you? So when she's saying it's more pronounced, that's more of like going to a specific other note, almost. It felt like more of like a semitone versus more of just slide.
Possibly, yeah, because some of it's undefined, and I guess that's my question. Is, we talk about this, the scale being different. There's more semitones in it, or whatever, or that it's broken up in a different way. It's quarter tones, yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily defined, some of those little bumps, or if it's just like a sort of a feel thing. It's just like however wide you want that spectrum of the pitch change to be.
I think the Gamak had more of like the little glissando feel, right? Like everything's kind of slide. And that one, the last example that she called, what was it?
That was a kind of a shake but with weightage, and it was pronounced. So it's called as Kampita Gamakam.
So that had almost more like an intentional point to go to, even though it's very quick, as opposed to just the slide.
Right.
I'm asking for a pass on the example that I just gave,
Yes.
by the way.
I thought that was pretty-
just
that was pretty
exploring,
good, actually.
exploring.
Yes, yes.
It is also interesting to note how gamaks are not taken in Indian light music, because it will spoil the mood of the song. Now imagine, Ab tum hi ho, ab tum hi ho. It just spoils the whole feel
resonance
of the
there.
song. Just like how in our daily lives we choose ornaments according to situations and don't wear too much or too little of ornaments, in the same way the proportion of ornamentation and the timing of ornamentation is extremely essential in Indian music, because ornamentation is the one that defines the melody. So in case you could
Really
relate
does,
to
yeah.
this video and you enjoyed watching this video, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. I wish to see you in my coming episodes. Till
We're
then,
already
take care
subscribed.
and peace be with you.
Oh, that was great.
Very
Okay.
cool.
So, switching gears, this is Gamakas, I believe specifically, that we're going to target.
This is the backbone of Indian classical music. In fact, it is Gamakas that differentiates our music from the rest of the world. So let's learn a little more about this beautiful concept. What is a Gamaka? A Gamaka is basically a connector between two notes. So instead of singing notes in a plain manner like sa ma ga ma ni da ni pa da ni sa, we add some curves and slides and make it sound like sa ma ga ma ni da ni pa da ni sa. Now when we do that, it adds a lot more life to the notes and brings out
Sure
the
does.
essence
My
of the raga.
goodness.
So what are the types of gamakas that you can find? Well, Carnatic music recognizes 15 different types of gamakas.
Okay.
But today we're going to look at the 4 most common types that you can easily recognize when you listen to a
Good,
song.
because I can only learn so much in a sitting.
The
I
first
know,
type
right?
is the sliding gamaka, where you simply slide from one note to another. So instead of singing it plainly
Is that
like
the mean?
That's what I'm guessing.
ma, we slide between the notes like sa ma. Or take a descending example. Instead of sa ni pa, we sing sa ni pa.
Ooh, that was fancy.
That's
Now this slide is called jaru in Carnatic music.
Ah,
you
so
can-
so maybe it's the same intention, but different word in Carnatic versus the Hindustani. But that was not a normal glissando either. It wasn't just connecting. It was
kind of like
it had this like cool little extra.
yeah. It's not a uniform curve. It's like
Right.
Yeah.
It definitely was fancier.
Find these slides even very prominently in light music as well. For example, Kannalane. That was a slide.
Right.
Sometimes an entire line will be full of slides, like தென்றல் வந்து தீண்டும் போது என்ன வண்ணமோ.
Nice.
Did you see how every syllable was sliding to the next? There were no straight notes at all. So you really need to master this art of sliding from one note to another. The second type of gamaka is in the form of a wave or oscillation. So we take a note and keep oscillating back and forth. Let's take Raga Shankarabharanam for example. Now if we try to sing the notes without any gamakas, it would sound like Sari ga ma pa da ni sa. Now
Okay,
even
so
though we
just go.
sang the notes of
Right.
Raga Shankarabharanam, it did not bring out the essence of the raga, right? It sounded more like the Western major scale. So in order to bring out the essence, we're going to add some wavy gamakas between the notes. Sari ga ma pa da ni sa.
I
Well,
noticed
that's instantly more interesting.
it's way cooler. So she's in A flat major, right?
Yep.
What we would refer to as that.
Mm-hmm.
So the There's a
Yes.
fly or something in the room. It's attacking me. Never mind me. So it was interesting. So she started with, and then after that, there's like something more. It's not just a slide. There's like this extra S curve of something. I can't catch it. I'm trying to.
I was thinking I'd still be able to hear those major tones in there, but it almost changed it up completely. And some tones were omitted, and some, like even from the first, the S, the it almost had the first, the third, that G into the R.
And because it felt like straight tone on the S to the G, and then it started to get. I want to hear it again. I'm just curious.
Wavy gamakas between the notes. Sari gama pada ni sa.
So she's going above and then back down.
Now it sounded like
it almost omitted the M, the fourth.
Yeah, just moved right through it the way it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Shankarabaranam. And this wavy gamaka technique is called kampitam in Carnatic music.
Kampitam, right.
The third type of gamaka is based on janta swaras or double notes. So whenever you see the same swara coming twice, like sa sa, here the second swara will always get an extra push or a force from below. So when we sing sa sa re re ga ga ma ma,
A little scoop into it.
So that's.
Da, 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 da. Yeah.
Is it the same? This goes to the comments. Is it the same thing we just heard Anuja talk about? Oh, what was the term? Where was that?
Oh, don't test us live, Richard.
I can't think of it. But is it the same thing? It's just a different term for Carnatic music versus Hindustani. I'm just curious if it's that.
Did you notice how every second swara we gave an extra force from a lower note? And that is a type of gamaka. Take the song for example. Ninnu kori varnam. And finally the last type of gamaka for today, which I call the vibration gamaka, also known as spuritam in Carnatic music.
Spuritam.
Now spuritam is also based on the concept of janta swaras, where the first swara is plain and the second swara gets an extra push. But in case of spuritam, the notes move so fast that it just sounds like a quick vibration. For example, Kannamuchi enada. Did you notice those two spuritams in that line?
Yes.
You will find this very commonly across songs. And you might need some classical training to get it right.
Also, yes.
Usually, a song will have a combination of all these types of gamakas. So the next time you listen to your favorite song, try to break down each and every syllable of the song and observe how does one syllable move to the next one. Is it through a sliding gamaka, or is it through a wave or a spuritam, and so on. So on that note, I'm going to leave you to explore the beautiful world of gamakas. For more such videos, download Vox Guru, the music learning app.
Super interesting. And we're probably taking on, by watching both those videos, too much too quickly.
Yes, but it's still interesting. It's amazing.
Really interesting.
I can watch it all day.
Because there's different approaches to, not just different classical styles, but different approaches to learning them. And some of the words get overlapped, some of them don't. So I'm sure we're creating some confusion, but I'm loving it. I just want to throw that out there. We'll get it slowly but surely.
Yeah, there's just something magical about those melodies. I get the same feeling listening to that as I do to a really great speaker, somebody a really great spiritual talk, where you just find yourself in this zone, and the silence, the underlying silence comes to the forefront. This music just invokes that so well. Just love it.
That was cool.
Just love it. Well, I guess that is it. Thank you guys so much for that recommendation. Enlightening as always, and we're looking forward to diving deeper down the rabbit hole. So
yes,
till next time.
Yes, thank you very much. Bye for now.
See you.